Listen, welcome to LME Streams, pretty much the little Monday movie stream thing that I've been doing, where I go over on Letterboxd. If you've never had Letterboxd, it's pretty much a pretty cool film site that I think it's practically beaten IMDb in terms of being able to log movies. But if you've never been on one of these, pretty much I just live stream on these Mondays. Gonna probably call these Letterboxd Mondays as well. And I just log all the stuff that I've seen. That way, all the recommended stuff that's come out that's new, you don't gotta wait on LME while we're editing that. I'm able to give you my picks for the week. And then at the same time, also answer some questions from the live stream. So shout out anybody who's watching over on the live stream as well. I'll be taking some of your input, some of your questions throughout, and even some of the stuff that you guys put me on for the watch list and stuff. But pretty much the way I want to do these is breaking down the stuff that I would recommend down to the down to the stuff that I just need to log in to prove that I've seen it. But let's start off with some good picks. I personally have 3 picks for this week that I recommend that are the highest ones, and you can probably see it from the thumbnail as well. But the first one is a little movie over from Sundance. We talked about this when we did the intercut over on the podcast. I've already got this one logged in, but this one finally made it over to Netflix. Pretty much it's almost like I don't want to call it like a biopic, but it pretty much is a lot having to do with Rada Blanc, who writes it, directs it. She stars in it as well. The whole thing's shot in black and white, and it's pretty much this playwright who's trying to come back and prove that she can make it. I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic at Sundance. I was able to catch it over there, and I think it won for Best Directing, if I'm not mistaken. But it's over on Netflix. If it's something that interests you, I would highly recommend it. It is, like I said, it's in black and white. It is over 2 hours. There's a couple of jokes that don't always hit, but I really liked her perspective in this movie, and really just there's a lot of satirical moments in it, dealing with all the stuff that she has to go through when she was trying to make it, not just with the play, but a little bit even dealing with the movie as well. And personally, when I caught it back at Sundance, there was one of the jokes, a lot of people laughed at some of the jokes that were made in the movie. As long as it didn't hit them, they were okay with it. But there was one specific joke that ticked off this entire row of ladies, and they just got up and dipped. And I was at the press and industry screenings. They were so livid, they just left. But one of the first ones I would recommend, 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's a play on 40-Year-Old Virgin. But like I said, I recommend it. One of the first ones to have on your list. It is over on Netflix. But one of the other ones that I also recommend, I feel like this one's even obvious, but they do have it on Letterboxd, considering that it is considered a one-off. It's considered just a series, unlike the previous one that Flanagan did, which is also on Netflix, The Haunting of... Why am I blinking on it? Hill House, which they actually sent me something. I will be working on a video for The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is so funny because y'all know how we deal with all this copyright stuff. They copyright the video. I think they ended up going like halvesies on it by the end of it, but it was funny when they reached out. I've never been reached out to by a haunted house, but they reached out and they sent us over his box. I tweeted about it, but they sent us over the box, and I'm going to cover that in the Haunting of Bly Manor video. But it's funny because I opened the box hoping that it would have been all of the money from the first video. It wasn't. But Haunting of Bly Manor is cool because it's an anthology series now. So I feel like Netflix, now that all the FX anthologies are getting taken away from them, they're trying to make something right now where they'll be able to bring back similar casts, and your boy over here, Flanagan, brings back the same people all the time. So it's the same cast as Hill House, but it's I believe it's Turn of the Screw that it's adapting. It's not as great as Hill House. I personally like Hill House, but that's not to say this is bad at all. I personally still think it's really good. It's as everyone has been saying, it's a love story that it shows you how haunted you are. I liked it. Again, not better than Hill House in my opinion. I think Hill House has the technical aspects of it, from the long take episode to even some of the reviews and stuff that goes on in that one, I thought was way better. But The Haunting of Bly Manor is still pretty good. Stretched out a little bit. Maybe. It's 9 episodes. I don't think it's even the 10 like last one's was. And they do that thing where it's like one episode kind of gives you a flashback, and you realize, well, if they can tell a whole spanning decades worth of a story in one episode, some of it does stretch a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. I'm rewatching it right now for the video, but my first watch, I'm being positive with it. I give it a 4-star. May go a little bit less, but it is over on Netflix. Like I said, I definitely recommend going to go watch it. And if you haven't seen the first one, we also have a video over on Hill House. So I would say go definitely check that one out as well. Let me see. My third one that comes in my recommended, as you see right there in the thumbnail, is a new one I was finally able to catch. This played over at Sundance. And this is one of those movies, I do this thing that I always recommended with my Sundance advice was, if a movie is coming out at a film festival like within the month, just wait on it. Wait on it. You'll be able to see it on maybe even a bigger screen. All my boys saw it, as you can see right here. They saw it. They loved this movie. They thought it was fantastic. And girl, shout out Amanda. They had recommended it, and I was like, nah. What are theaters gonna close? The theater's closed, and I never got the chance to watch this movie. But it's now out on HBO Max. Do I wish I had the chance to catch it with I don't know if it would have played in IMAX, but there's some beautiful sequences that would have been fantastic to watch on the big screen. But I got a relatively big screen at home. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, but that's okay, because this took me back to the doc. And I'm making a full video on this. So I'm going to be brief on Charm City Kings. Like I said, it's over on HBO Max. It's the story of a biking crew in Baltimore and this kid who really wants to make it in. My boys compared it a lot to kind of like a coming-of-age mob story, a little bit of Boys in the Hood, a little bit of, why am I blinking on? Goodfellas. But it's based off of this documentary. And I just caught the documentary this morning, and I'm definitely making a whole thing on this. This right here, fantastic. I absolutely love the doc. Again, it's practically an adaptation of this documentary right here about this boy named Pug who's going through the exact same thing, in where he wants to make it into the 12 o'clock boys. The 12 o'clock boys are people who pop willies like this, like it's 12 o'clock. But the stuff that it covers, I love this doc because it's one of those rare docs where the documentarian actually spends time with the people. Look, it's even on Criterion. He spends time with the people there. He was going to school in Baltimore, and it's like he's not condemning the subject of what's going on. He realizes fully that it's dangerous. He's also not sugarcoating and saying that it's not. But he doesn't hold your hand through the documentary. So, again, I highly recommend the documentary, Charm City Kings as well, which is out over on HBO Max. And again, a little bit shout out over here with Letterboxd, why I like it. I'm not sponsored by Letterboxd. I pay them for the pro. But I love this little thing that they have over here on the side. So all the movies that I recommend definitely go through here, and it pretty much lets you know where it's playing. So if you have a subscription service, you just click this bad boy, and it tells you where it's playing. So I always really appreciate that. That's why I like using the site. But like I said, Charm City Kings, really good movie. The doc is incredible. Absolutely fantastic. Looking at some of the questions that I got over here. Someone said, the Meek Mill film, how was it? He is fantastic in it. I thought he was actually pretty good. Obviously, Meek Mill has his whole background dealing with bikes, and the trouble that he's gotten with that. So listening to the producer, because the Smiths actually produced this, and they were talking about how at one point, they weren't going to be able to get Meek because he was going to be gone, like he was in jail, and they fought to make sure that they were able to wait and be able to get him, because of the fact that they saw how Boys in the Hood had Ice Cube and how he was a rapper in LA, and it was really in that scene. And the same thing going on with Meek, how he was popping willies, and he knows that whole culture, and they wanted to make sure they had him, and I thought he did fantastic. I will say, I love this actor. I thought the kid is good. Johnny's good, and I've seen him in a couple of other stuff. Did he have the Baltimore accent down completely? No, but he was all right. But again, highly recommend the doc. The doc is fantastic. But yeah, those are my three picks. My top rated ones: 40-Year-Old Version, Haunting of Bly, and Charm City Kings. But I also have a bunch of other ones that I have as my renteds that I would recommend. Let me go through some of those right now. One of the first ones that I think it's worth the rent it. It's a little movie called Spontaneous. Just came out. I believe it's based off a book. And it stars Catherine Langford, Charlie Plummer, this little kid from, what was he in? He was in a miniseries earlier this year that was written about all these kids. Oh, Looking for Alaska, right there. He was also in Clove Hitch Killer. He's not a bad kid. Not a bad actor. This is a fun movie. It's pretty much all these students start blowing up, and they have absolutely no idea what's going on. It is one of those movies that talks about how you got to seize the day. I like a lot of the techniques that they do. They do a lot of match cutting and stuff. It's fun. Yvonne Orji's in it as well. She's fantastic from Insecure. I personally thought it was a little fun movie. I'd give it a 3 stars. Put that one on your radar. I think it's only on Vudu right now. It's only available for rent, but it was a pretty funny story. Check out the trailer. Let me know your thoughts on that one. 2 other sci-fis that I actually do want to make a video on, so I'd mention these right here. Archive I was able to catch actually back at South by Southwest. They never held the festival, but they were able to actually host kind of like a limited stripped down version of it, and eventually there was a screener that came out for this. Let me give it 3 stars. Hopefully it went there. 3 stars. I do enjoy this one. This is the story of a guy who's trying to recreate his wife, right? And he wants to make sure that like he's able to make it perfectly. So at first it's like a small robot, then it's like a bigger robot. He's trying to bring her back to life, and I think it's an interesting story. It's got a crazy ending that it was this weekend. The reason I bring it up is because I'm going to work on a video between this and also this one, that I found myself a little double header. Another sci-fi also dealing with this type of stuff in the near future, where it's gotten to a point where, and I've said this, I think we're going to get into VR and headsets and all these things, but then that company's going to have to do something because, I mean, they're even doing it right now. What's his name? Tesla Man was talking about that chip that they're going to put in people's heads. So it's literally only a matter of time before they put that in there. But this was also an interesting sci-fi. I didn't love it as much, but it's interesting. By this point, the sun is like so visceral that people can't go out. There's only clones that can go out into the world and do things. But I am going to be doing a double feature with this one and the other one, full spoilers. So definitely put those on your radar if you're interested in some. Like I said, I prefer Archive just a little bit more. But this has a pretty fleshed out world. But like the world is better than the narrative that you're following, if you know what I'm talking about. Let me see some other ones. Oh, I was able to catch this one a little bit early. I did make a video on these directors' previous film, Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, called Endless. I personally love that movie. I think it's fantastic. Endless over here. Shout out to Resolution as well, that are, you know, they got a little connections, and Spring is fantastic, but Synchronic is their newest one. Again, this is another film festival one. My boy Zach was able to catch it back at TIFF. I wasn't able to, but Zach was able to get a link, and I finally got the chance to catch it. It's fun, not as great. Pretty much, you got these two detectives over here, not two detectives, but two EMTs who are having to go and rescue these people who are on this new drug called Synchronic that causes you to like kind of rift into other places. And then when an incident happens, one of them has to go through the drug in order to figure out the person who went missing. It's crazy, and it sounds fantastic, but the premise itself is a little bit better than the movie, sadly. Again, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was good on my first watch, giving it 3 stars, being nice about it. I really like the worlds that they built, and I think in Endless, they just have a much better world. That's the thing. It's just a much better world as opposed to the one that they have here, and it's not bad, and I love the characters, but sometimes they do a couple of dumb stuff. But another one to keep on your radar, or at least have Moorhead and Benson, because I may not love this one, but I'm still just as excited for their next outing. Again, Synchronic, a movie about a drug that makes you hallucinate and do crazy things. It should have been better than Power, and it wasn't, sadly. Another one that came out on Netflix. I know a couple of you were just asking me on the live chat. Hubie Halloween wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm also give this one 3 stars. Again, these are ones that I would give rentits to. They're streaming. He brings back the same guy who I know did a couple of the classic ones like Lil Nicky, did Mr. Deeds. You know, he did do the Do-Over, and I think he also may have done, I think he wrote, or one of them. They had the writers from The Ridiculous Six. I haven't been a fan of the movies that he's been doing with Netflix. I'm going to be honest with you. But I've always shouted out how Adam Sandler always sticks to his crew. You know, he's always hanging out with the same people who he's had before. In this one, he even casts his daughters. A lot of his daughters are in there. I know his wife is in there as well. Is it a great movie? Absolutely not. But it does a couple of good things. The visual gags are just as great as they were back in the 90s, I personally think, with this one. If you didn't like them back in the 90s, so you're not going to like them in this one either. But I really like the story element. I don't want to spoil it too much. Again, it's on Netflix. But they do a nice little riff off of something from back in the day, of a classic franchise, and I thought it worked really well in this movie. Again, it's a movie about Hubie, who is pretty much the hall monitor for this town, and all these bad things are happening in Salem, and everyone is always making, like, nobody respects this man at all. Absolutely nobody. Like, they disrespect this man more than the Oscars did when they didn't give him the recognition that he deserved for Uncut. But I like the visual gags in this. They also do a lot of Easter eggs to previous Sandler movies that I thought was pretty cool. So, Hubie Halloween, it was good. It was fine. It's better than all the other stuff that he's released out there. So if you're a fan of Sandler, I mean, I think this will be there. If you're not a fan of Sandler, don't catch it. Another one that I would recommend is this little movie I called Teenage Badass. I personally really enjoyed this one. Also give it a rent, but I actually would give this one a little bit of an extra star. You got this band from 2006 that pretty much you have this dude who runs the band, and he really plays it off so that everyone who's in the band, they got to do whatever he wants, right? Like, he's testing everybody. But you're seeing the whole perspective from this drummer, this kid who's barely of age. He's just trying to make it because he doesn't feel he's going to go anywhere, and he gets, caught up with all of the shenanigans that they're going through. There's a couple of tonal shifts that happen throughout the movie that are kind of jarring, but I really like the, badassery of it. If you're a fan of another movie it's not out yet, but it was doing the festival runs, called Dinner in America, I think this one is right up your alley. And it gets into a little bit of the independent scene about how you need to sign to a label or at least promise a certain recording producer that you're going to be there for them. I'd say the biggest problem with it is that, again, besides the tonal shifts that kind of drag it down, there is a couple of things that... directorial decisions, I guess, that they put up on the screen that do come back later, but they do feel a little bit forced. But they were cute. Like, they weren't terrible. It's just a cute little thing that they do there. But if you catch the trailer to this one, I know it's out on VOD right now, but I'm sure eventually it's going to be streaming. If it's right up your alley, highly recommend it. This was also a South by Southwest pick from this year that sadly never happened. Let's see. I heard some people say, G. Darwin says, I didn't like Teenage Badass too much. Oh, man. Let me know why. Let me know your thoughts or other recommendations that you have on there. I'm curious to know your thoughts on the one that I just mentioned, Dinner in America, because I thought that one was pretty dope as well. Get a couple, some of the other ones over here. Someone had said Minari, which, as they told us, it was pronounced. Minari is finally being released in the U.S. 100%. That was one of my favorites. Covered it on Intercut. I may be doing a Sundance recap for LME, because I did a couple of LME reviews of a couple of movies that came from Sundance, but I may do a whole must watch just to get some of those movies back on the radar, especially because some of them are coming out. Let's see. Someone had said, have you seen Netflix Away? I'm dragging on the show, man. I'm dragging on the show, which I guess speaks to kind of my review for it. But eventually I do want to give something on that because people are still recommending it, and it's been out for a couple of months. Let me see. Moving on to another recommendation is The Public. This one played over at TIFF a couple years ago, I want to say. Not this past TIFF, but I think last TIFF, and it is directed, it is written, it is produced by Emilio Estevez, one of the Sheens himself over here, and he plays a what is it called? A librarian. I don't know if we want to buy anything else, but yeah, he works at a library, and he's dealing with a lot of people there who don't have a home, and there comes a point in Cincinnati, because it's in the Midwest, where it gets extremely cold, and they decide to just do this entire standoff with the police, and where they don't want to leave. But at that same point, there's a lot of other characters. Like, this is a stat cast. When you look at this, Alec Baldwin, Christian Slater, Jeffrey Wright, Gabrielle Union, like every single minute there's a new actor popping up, and I'm like, all right, this man had everything stacked over here. But like I said, you pretty much have like the politics that they're dealing with, and where there's also a re-election that's happening, and there's certain people who are trying to they're dealing with mental health and an opioid crisis that's, the center of what's happening over there in Ohio. But I enjoyed it. I think it's very heavy-handed at times, but I thought it was a cute little story. Very scripted, and by scripted I mean like there are certain scenes where a character would never do that in real life, but Emilio was trying to get it on. And there's other moments as well where they do like a cute little thing where Michael K. Williams is in it, and he plays one of the characters who kind of has this whole group there. And I thought that a lot of the moments that they do with them, they're corny, they come off like a stage play, but Michael K. Williams makes it work because it's Michael K. Williams. Again, I would recommend this one. It's a pretty cool thriller, kind of like a political thriller, I guess you would call it, about the system and how, a lot of homeless people during the winter, they have nowhere else to go, and it's considered like a bad thing for them to demand warmth. It was on my radar back at TIFF, finally got the chance to catch it. It's over on Peacock. I wonder if Peacock, because I know this is an interesting thing about Peacock, is that they actually have a version that's free. So you may actually be able to catch it free with ads. So, little one to put on your radar there. Another rent it. Another one that I caught, which is okay. Might as well just log it here. Netflix decided to do this little movie on a little documentary. And I was watching this. Alina was watching it. And I go over, I was like, why does this sound familiar? I think this is the right one. I'm not even sure if this is the right one because it's not appearing. Let's see. And Shannon Watts. I was watching this and I was like, it hit me. I was like, yo, I remember this case. It is a jacked up case about Shannon Watts and how her and her two daughters were brutally murdered. That's it. That's the documentary. I don't think the documentary does anything above and beyond. Like, it's pretty much, if you follow the case, it's everything from the case. So I guess it's a good recap of the case. But it does, that's it, I guess, just to put on your radar. I'm curious to know some of your guys' thoughts about it. Thought it was okay. Let me get some of the questions over here. You should watch the OA on Netflix. Yeah, that's one that's been recommended to me a lot. Definitely got to do one on that. LME, have you seen Oldboy 2003? Yes, and it is superior to whatever Spike did. I recently watched a comedy, They Came to Get Classic. Got Rudd and Fowler. Critics were mixed. I really enjoyed it. If you've been following me, that is one of my favorites of all time. Absolutely love it. Have you watched Embrace of the Servant? I did a while back, and I know the directors had worked on something else as well. That's one that's I'm doing a rewatch because I never really covered it. Let's see. I hated this. I know it's real life, but I hated the documentary. I feel you. Sorry if you already mentioned it, but have you seen Bly Manor? I know how much you loved Hill House. I mentioned it at the top. Did like it. We'll be making a whole video on that one. Let's see. Final one right here. Going to jump back to it. Utopia. I have caught Utopia. I don't know if it pops up over here, but I know it'll come up on IMDb because I don't know how many people know this, but Utopia is actually, IMDb is owned by Amazon. So as you can see, they have an entire ad space for Utopia. So you can start your free trial on Amazon. It's okay so far. It's okay, but I have heard that the original Utopia is even better. But someone tell me why I can't find this damn thing anywhere, because I know it's a show from the UK. I can't even buy it off Amazon because then I need to buy an entire other region lock player. It's not available to purchase even digitally, like to even watch on Prime Video. It's not. Like, they're lying. I'm going to click this. It's just going to come up to my Amazon account. Like, they're lying to you. But I have heard nothing but great things from this one. It is available on some places online, but I'm going to have to get the DVD or something. And the DVD player in order to watch this one. But I've heard nothing but great things over here, and that this is a little bit more of a washed up one, the remake. And I had talked about it last week because I was really excited because I had Gilliam Flynn. I said I was going to watch it, and I'm, I think, 3-4 episodes in. And it's not bad, but some of the stuff that I've heard from the original, I've heard it's even better. I heard it's extremely better. So that's definitely one that I'm going to have to, again, buy an entire region-free DVD player for. Let me continue some of the other ones that I caught. I got 4 more ones that I would, or 5-ish ones that I would recommend that I would give a stream it, rent it to, and then 2 that I just thought they're okay. The Wolf of Snow Hollow. If I spell hollow right, I hope this is the right. Yeah, okay, I spelled it wrong, but it still popped up. The Wolf of Snow Hollow is a new one by Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings, who did Thunder Road. If you haven't seen this, he also has the short Thunder Road. I like Thunder Road. Man is very much one of the best things about Jim Cummings, I'd say, is that he pretty much is a do-it-yourself. He's all about that independent way of doing things, and he continues it here with The Wolf of Snow Hollow, where at first I saw Jimmy Thatcher pop up, and I was like, oh man, look, Jimmy, because I hadn't seen the trailer or anything for this. I had no idea it had even popped up. I just saw it on Vudu, and I was like, oh, new Jim Cummings, let's check it out. And I was excited. I was like, okay, finally, you know, kind of like the, who did I just mention? Moorhead and Benson. I was like, those boys have always been in front of the camera. They finally got the opportunity to have like really good actors in front, and I thought he was going to do this. He still pops up, which is not a bad thing. I don't mind Jim Cummings acting, but I do think it definitely becomes a really big focus on the movie, if you know what I'm saying. And this one's okay. Pretty much there's a wolf man that they believe is out there that is killing all of these people. It's kind of like this very snowy resort area, and as they approach a full moon, people are on the task trying to figure out what it is, and that's it. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know what else to give it. I plan on rewatching it again because it's Jim Cummings, and I do appreciate his work, but I'm not going to lie. On my first watch, it's a 2.5, and I don't want to give it a 2.5, but again, I might revisit it later. Again, this is why I do these, because it's a lot more simpler to just talk about the movies here, get my thoughts out, and then I'll cover it more in a bigger video before I get judged by it, before the Jim Cummings fans come for me. But it was okay. I'd wait for it until it's on streaming. This one's definitely a streamer for me. Another 2. I'll be making a video on these 2 for sure. It was Black Box and a movie called The Lie. And Amazon pretty much did this thing. They reached out to me. If you've been following me on Twitter, you know, they always push you to like promote things, and I'm really big on like, hey, if you want me to push something and I haven't seen it yet, at least give me a code or a link or something to give the people. who watched the channel, and they did this whole thing where they had you could either pick Black Box or The Lie, which I'm going to cover up right next, and you didn't even need an Amazon account, I don't think. You pretty much just went there and you saw the movie live with a chat box, kind of like you're seeing right here, where everyone was commenting. And I'm not going to lie, I know some people don't like people talking in the theater, or there's been this whole thing now that we have virtual festivals, there's like the snotty critics and people who don't like that people are tweeting, like live tweeting for it. I think they're old heads, and I think we are going to... Look, I'm not trying to encroach on the idea of like what you should not have. You should not be texting or whatever during a movie. But Amazon and Blumhouse got it together, and I'm not going to lie, it was the funniest thing to see people reacting in real time to what was happening in the movie. I had seen The Lie, so the new one that I caught this past week was Black Box. It's cute. Gonna give it 2.5. Pretty much it's about this guy who is taking all of these... experimental type of procedures that are being run by a doctor who may not be as qualified as he says he is, in order to be able to know who he really is, because he's kind of got a little bit of a memory loss that happened. But there may be some other things afoot. Same thing with The Lie. Now, personally, The Lie is kind of like The Mist for me. I am not going to lie. I know people absolutely hate the ending to this one. It pissed me off so much that I actually almost kind of liked it. I haven't rewatched this one yet, so this will definitely go down. But the first time that I saw it, I just wanted to put it on people's radar because I want to see people's reaction to this one in particular. The last one, Black Box, is also pretty cool, but the reaction to The Lie's got to be great. Again, it's called, let me see, I think they might have it over here on Amazon. They're doing this thing where Blumhouse is kind of releasing, they're calling it Welcome to Blumhouse. Again, see, Amazon original, so it's all over there. But yeah, it's called Welcome to Blumhouse, and pretty much they're releasing 4 movies. I'm actually catching another one tomorrow. I may have a link, so keep on over on Twitter. I might tweet it out, where you pretty much they're releasing 4 movies from first-time directors, even though The Lie isn't a first-time director. But the other one is Evil Eye, which will come out this week. Let me see, it's not even clicking. These are going to be the next 2. It's Evil Eye, superstitious mother is convinced that her daughter's new boyfriend is the reincarnation of a man who tried to kill her 30 years ago. Sounds pretty good. Just saw her in a movie we covered last week as well. But the one I will be catching tomorrow is Nocturne. This is Sweeney's in this, who some of you may know from Euphoria. An incredibly gifted pianist makes a Faustian bargain to overtake her older sister at a prestigious institution for classical musicians. This will be the one that I'm catching tomorrow. But again, Blumhouse is releasing all of these, all 4 of them, over on Amazon. But I may have a code for you guys. And the cool thing that they're doing, like I said, it wasn't just a chat box while you were watching. They actually had like a virtual thing afterwards. And I thought that was pretty dope. Like, I'll explain it again more in the video than I'm going to do for the 4, but they pretty much had an entire improv thing that was happening in accordance to each movie as you try to solve the Blumhouse and go up. I know it sounds confusing, but I'll break it down more, and I'll try to get some screenshots if possible for it. And I thought that was pretty dope because it actually made an experience out of the virtual thing while everyone watched it in real time. So I don't know, I thought that was pretty dope. But again, the 2 that I was able to catch was Black Box, which got a little bit of some Get Out vibes, and The Lie, which is about this girl and her father and an incident that happens and that they need to cover up. And the ending is going to infuriate people. That's it. That's all I want to say. Let me see. Let's get some questions over here from some of the people who were over here. See, the show, each character's development in the show. Someone asked a question. Did you ever watch that Bowie biopic? I think it was called Stardust. Apparently it's a biopic without any of the songs. It sounds very wacky, but it could be something. Let me check it out. So Stardust. Let's see if I add this to my... I don't think it's this Stardust. Maybe this one right here. Yep, there we go. Add this bad boy. David Bowie went to America for the first time to promote his 3rd album, The Man Who Sold the World. There he embarked on a coast-to-coast publicity tour. During this tour, Bowie came up with the idea of his iconic Ziggy Stardust character inspired by artists like Ziggy and Lou Reed. Let's see. What else has this man done? Well, I haven't seen the other movies he's done, but I'll make sure to add this one on my radar. Put it on my watch list right there. Let's see. Someone said, not going to lie, I didn't love Charm City Kings. I'm from Baltimore, and I understand what they were going for, but I give it a 6 out of 10. That's one of the biggest things I've seen. Like, for me, I had some acting chops with the kid, but after seeing the documentary, I was like, yeah, that that kid was not acting like Baltimore. And I've been to Baltimore once or twice, and at least they shot it there. I know that was like a big thing that they were aiming to shoot there. There's a lot in the movie that I do like, but I guess I was hyping myself up more, and as soon as I saw the doc, the doc was even better. Let's see. Favorite Russian movie? You know what? Now that you said that, I don't know off the top of my head. It's probably some Tarkovsky, but Sputnik was a movie. I don't know if I logged this one in. But again, for those of you joining in, this is the LME live streams over here where I pretty much just... It's helpful in logging in the movies on Letterboxd because I'm really bad at doing that. But at the same time, it's also putting some movies on your radar, and even you guys putting some movies on my radar. There's a little movie called Sputnik. It's a Russian film that actually was doing pretty well at the box office before everything closed down. And I like how the guy just practically pitched it. He was like, yo, I'm just trying to make Alien in Soviet Russia, because a lot of movies are coming out and everyone always complains about them, that they didn't, that they practically just made another one of another Alien, but it's a copycat. But it's like Alien has become its subgenre, right? The same way that, what's it called? When he dies and he comes back... Groundhog Day. Just like Groundhog Day has become its own thing, where a bunch of movies are just taking that same similar premise. Sputnik is pretty cool because it's kind of got a little bit of a splice thing in there, in where this astronaut comes back, but he kind of gets tethered to the creature that's connected to him. And so they have this psychologist, who comes in and kind of has to figure out what's going on. There's something that happens in the third act that caught me completely off guard, and makes me want to rewatch this one. So there is a lot of rewatchability factor to this movie, and I thought that the creature design was pretty well. So to answer you there, dealing with Russian movies. But let me finish up my list, and then I'm going to definitely answer some more questions. I got 4 more on the list. Speaking of dealing with some horrors over here, there's this movie called No Escape, not to be confused with Owen Wilson's No Escape. It's this movie called, it's originally called Follow Me. And I know this was out, I believe it had even hit some records at the box office when only a few theaters were open. But it is out on Vudu. I don't know why it doesn't appear here, but it's available for purchase. So I'm going to make a video on this because this director had already made a movie called Escape Room about an escape room. Haven't caught that one yet. But then this movie called Follow Me, which is about an influencer who goes to Moscow where someone has done an escape room for him. And like I said, I think if you search it up over here, it's actually going to come up as, what did I call it? No Escape, because they changed the title on it. So originally called Follow Me. See, now it's called No Escape. It may still be called Follow Me. See, Follow Me original title. They may still keep this over internationally, I guess. I'll say this about the movie. Ballsy ending. Makes absolutely no sense when you rewatch it, but it pretty much follows this guy who gets an entire escape room made for him. So yes, this director has made 2 movies about escape rooms. I guess this one's better than the other one, considering the scores. It also stars one of the guys who is like best friends with Logan Paul, and they were like really big on having Logan Paul come over and like give the stamp of approval. But yeah, I'll be making a whole video on this. This is all I'll say. I'm being nice with it. I'm gonna be nice right now. And then after I rewatch it, it might be a 1.5. But give it a watch when it comes out. I do think that it does a really good job at being claustrophobic in the settings that it created. I know there was the other escape room that came out previously, and I really do enjoy like the aesthetics to these movies, and I did like this one a lot more. But this one really relies on one thing, and I don't think it works. That's all I'll say. But I'll be making a full video on it. Escape Room. What did I say? No Escape, a.k.a. Follow Me, a.k.a. the second escape thing that he's done. Let's see. Another one that I was able to catch, The Curse of Audrey. Just to log this one in. This was one from Fantasia, which, like I had mentioned, we're working on the video for that whole Fantasia rundown. But I got this one recently because it just came out. I think if you're a fan of the Vivitch, if you're a fan of what else did I had marked down over here? Because this takes place in the 1950s, and it's pretty much the idea that all the Irish who moved to America, they were still fighting to not be American. Like, they wanted to retain their old ways. And I thought it was a pretty good movie. I have it lower over here just because I guess I just put it in the wrong place. But I would give this one a rent it. It was pretty good. I like the aesthetics that they have for it. I thought the acting from the lead was pretty good. But again, if you're a fan of The Witch, and I had another movie over here that I recommend, The Other Lamb. I prefer The Other Lamb to this one. But if you caught this and were curious to something else, I'd say definitely check out this other movie that came from TIFF. Also very similar. Rated them the same as well. The ending is a little iffy in my opinion for this one, but I also love the aesthetics of this one, and I love what it's covering, dealing, again, practically with a cult. So 2 other ones to put on your radar there. I'll be talking more about them later. But the final 2 that I have is, I got this little independent movie called To Hell with Harvey. See, someone said, just stopping by to say hi. Shout out, Magnitude. Appreciate you always being here. Someone said, what'd you think of The Lighthouse? I know I have to make a full video on The Lighthouse. That was okay. But I've only caught it once. And I caught it with I was literally 5 feet away from the cast. And every single time something happened on screen, what's his name? Pattison would always look over to the directors and be like, hey, it's about to happen. So I feel I need to rewatch it in a setting where the actor isn't spoiling everything that's happening for me. But yeah, let me log these last ones that I have over here. To Hell with Harvey. It's a story about a screenwriter who is able to, even though he's getting denied everything, go with this recluse who is going on his retirement book tour thing after all the problems that he's gone through. I think if you're a writer and you wanted to see an independent story about writing, there's this. Not a masterpiece, but it's an interesting movie about writing. Logging that one in right there. This one I hated. Gonna end it off with a bad one. Like starting off with all the positives, so you get them right at the top. Books of Blood is this thing on Hulu. I don't know what this was, bro. I don't know what this was. This is supposed to be an anthology with 3 stories. I counted 2. I guess there's an interweaving one that's on there that is supposed to connect brand new Clive Barker stories. This one's over on Hulu, and it's an anthology movie dealing with I don't even know. You know what a thing is so bad you don't even want to cover it. That's the beauty of this live stream right here. I don't even need to cover it. Watch the trailer and then know that I thought it was garbage. I'm not even going to explain myself with this. Let me answer some other questions that y'all have. Someone had said, have you seen World of Tomorrow 3? I have not, but someone was telling me, and it's right here. Someone was telling me that it's actually available over on Vudu. That you see, and again, it's not popping out here, but supposedly they have it as in an early release. I have friends who they absolutely love 1 and 2. I think they're great, and I've been hearing this is the best of the best. These are short films by Darn Hertzfeld. If you have not seen the first 2, actually no, it's not on Hulu. It's on Vimeo. That's what it is. It's available on Vimeo. So for those of you who may want to catch it, I think it's available over on Vimeo. You can catch it a little bit early. But yeah, I definitely want to catch this one. Have you seen The Nightingale? I have. I caught this one. I mentioned it on my Sundance one. I do want to make a whole video on this, but I'm going to tell you guys here because I can't get in trouble for it. But I'm trying to get the rights to this video that my boy shot, where the lady called in for The Nightingale and cursed them out. If you have not seen The Nightingale, it comes from the director of, what'd she make? Jennifer Kent. She made Babadook. Oh, in the short Babadook. She made Babadook. People love Babadook. I think it's great. Nightingale, to me, is fantastic. I know people would argue that Babadook is better, but I love The Nightingale. And like I was telling you, I want to make a video on it. But yo, this lady called in at my boy's work. He works at theater. I'm not going to say the theater. But this lady came in cursing them about how they shouldn't be playing this movie. And she's like, and y'all saw popcorn during a movie like this. If you have not seen The Nightingale, I believe it is over on Hulu, so you can catch it over there. Just know that you need a strong stomach for it, because when we cut it at Sundance, what I mentioned in the Sundance video, and I know Amanda the Jedi, she had a whole video on it, and she described the experience also. Yo, this lady practically fell off the balcony. She ran away from the screening 20 minutes in. They had Adidas, and they had therapists outside. People thought we were lying, and I'm like, why would I lie about that? They did. They had people outside. And I guess that lady needed it because she ran out of that screening. So be warned, but I really do like the movie. I thought it was great. Some of the questions that I have over here. What did you think of True Detective Season 3? Over on Intercut Podcast, my boy Zach and I think we talked about it. We may have talked about it earlier. But he liked it way more than I did. I'm still that the first one is the best. I might make a video on it. We'll see. But I thought it was okay. Let's see. The Nightingale was brutal. Agreed. Let's see. Devesh. Hopefully I'm saying your name Devesh says, I watched a Russian film in class. I really liked it, but I can't find it anywhere. It's a war film, and I think the word stocks is in the title. Maybe won an Oscar. Any idea? Let's see if we can find it for you, boy. Stocks. Is it any of these? If someone can help my man, let him know. Someone had said, what's your favorite Almodovar movie pre All About My Mother? I've seen 8 of his films, but not a single one of his films before All About My Mother. Let's see. I know he's got something with Tilda Swinton right now. I didn't get a screener for it, but I know he made I think it's a short right now. How do I spell Pedro wrong? Let me go to Julieta and then follow him there. He made something with Tilda Swinton. Pain and Glories, obviously fantastic. I thought that was one of the best final scenes, like one of the best final shots that I've seen. I still got a lot more to binge from this man, but this was the one I was talking about right here. The Human Voice. It is a short. Okay, it is a short. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about this one as well. I know she was wearing AirPods in it. I really don't know what it's about, but yeah, I'm on my binge with Almodovar as well. There is a dope video. I'd recommend this. I'll recommend this one for you. Search up Pedro and what's his name? Who did Eraserhead? There is a moment where they're actually at a Q&A, and he recognizes Pedro. I think it's the funniest thing in the world. David Lynch. Search up David Lynch and Pedro Almodovar at a Q&A. I thought it was the funniest thing. That'll warm your heart. That's the one I recommend right now. Someone else had asked, have you watched Enola Holmes? Curious to hear your thoughts. I'll be making a video on that because I've gotten a bunch of requests, and I have some interesting things that I learned from Sherlock Holmes. I had no idea. I'll spoil it to you guys who watch LME streams. Sherlock Holmes created the first fandom. I had absolutely no idea that was a thing. So the people who were hating this movie, like, I guess I kind of get it, because the Sherlock Holmes fandom are the OGs. They treat that man like he's real, but I thought it was a cute story. I'm definitely going to break down in the video how I believe it's the same team who did Fleabag. So they kind of have like a young adult Fleabag thing. Obviously, Fleabag's way more adult-like, and I love Fleabag. I think it's a masterpiece. But they kind of have that fourth wall-breaking thing. But Millie Bobby Brown actually produced the whole thing. So I'll be talking about it more in my LME review video. But it's over on Netflix for those of you curious. I liked it. It was cute. It was fun. And I know it's based off a book series as well. And I'm reading the comic of the 6 over on Hoopla as well. Let's see. Someone had said, we talking about Charm City Kings, mentioned up over at the top. Check out the doc. Someone had said, The Boys. I'll be making a whole video on that. I was able to catch that one early. Not better than season 1, but having read the comic and stuff, I think they adapted it pretty well. They did a good job adapting. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but the storyline that they went with and the switches that they did. Is Antebellum worth it? I don't know if I vlogged this one. I'm waiting on it to be out. Because even though I use trailer footage, like, I might as well just wait for it to, like, be available for purchase. Because they're so anal on that stuff. Because once I buy it, I buy it. You know, like, you can't say anything after the fact. I could do, for review purposes, especially after purchasing it. Bro, I'm going to have to give it. I'm going to be nice with it. I'm not going to be that nice with it. I'm going to be this nice with it. I'd be surprised if it goes up. But I've ran through it twice. I've already done my interview rundown with this. It's just not smart. I'll be nice with it, because I really, really do like Janelle Monáe, and I don't think the directors meant ill with it like a lot of people are accusing them of, but it's just dumb, man. It's just dumb. Some of the things that they do are dumb. Like, for example, I'm gonna give you one, but I think it comes out November 3rd, so I'm aiming to have the video out by that release date. They tried really hard to get the cameras from Gone with the Wind to shoot their scenes for whatever reason. But it doesn't really work. And again, I was about to get into spoilers, and I don't want to do that, but I'll explain it in my review if you've seen it, and letting you know how they went really hard to get those lenses. I don't think they achieved what they thought they were going for, but I'll explain them more when I'm able to talk more spoilers. Let me see. Some other people were saying... Oh, thank you. Yes, David Lynch. More questions on Antebellum. Ages ago, you spoke about Nimic in a Canadian-French film, and I can't find them anywhere. Help me. Canadian-French film. I talked about Nimic during TIFF, so I want to say maybe Antigone, which I kept saying Antigone because I didn't know. My Mexican self had no idea how to say it. I thought it was Antigone. It's pronounced Antigone. Maybe it's this one. Hopefully it's this one. Someone said, I'm thinking of ending things. I don't know if I've logged this in, but I am not going to lie. Still not done with the book. Bet it may be 5 stars, bro. Like, I'm right here. I haven't logged it yet. I'm right here. I'm going to log this right now for y'all. Really do like it. Book is crazy. It answers way more stuff than the movie does for sure. And I know a lot of people found the movie frustrating. But Charlie's a G, bro. That's my main thing that I'm gonna focus on the video. Charlie just he knows what he's doing. He's on a whole nother level. He's so anti-marketing that I know it ticks people off, and I know people think that he's so full of himself as well. But I highly recommend it. I know it's gonna be way too slow for some, but I actually would recommend the book. I think the book it's a really good book. Have you seen If Beale Street Could Talk? I know that Regina King is in it. Yeah, it was one of my favorites from last year. I know a lot of people were saying that it's not better than Moonlight, and I'm not saying that it's better than Moonlight, but it is. It's fantastic. If Beale Street Could Talk was one of my favorites of the year. Someone said, have you seen Amores Perros? Yes, classic. Brie Larson wants to know what's your favorite scary movie. My favorite scary movie, broken record with this, some of y'all may already know it, The Others. The Others. And they're remaking it. Hopefully they don't mess it up. Ooh, someone had said to toss an anime rec in a silent voice on Netflix. I've been recommended this one a lot. And I've been working on a Weathering With You video that I want to release. And so many people continuously always mention this one right here. So I only saw part of it. I had to finish it. That's why I have it on my watch list as well. But I was on tour. I was on the road coming back from a film festival, and I caught this one night. And I did not give it the proper attention, which is why I still have it on my watch list. Got to watch it. But yes, this is one that people have recommended so much. As you could see, had a market there. The Boys Season 2 was great. Oh, right there. Shout out Magnitude. Another thing to always put on people's radar. Never bad to do. Hoopla and Canopy, as long as you got a library card, free stuff. Free stuff. Do you like Good Omens? If you're talking about the show, thought it was fantastic. Let's see. Gone with the Ring cameras. Oh, no, yeah. Someone knows what I'm talking about right there. Someone had said, have you watched Host? Let's see. Because there's so many hosts. I've seen like 3 hosts this year. I've seen Hosts, which I covered last week, which was this one. I enjoyed it. I really liked the mythology that they had with the characters that were in that. But I think the one you're talking about is Host, this one over on Shudder, which I just got Shudder. Shout out to everyone who's giving me recommendations on that bad boy. I thought it was okay. I also want to make a video on this because this man legit got a 3-film deal with Blumhouse because of this movie. Because of this short film that he worked on with his friends. I would highly recommend it. Go check out his Twitter. Originally, this spawned off some of the actors in this movie. They're his friends, and he was on a real-life Zoom call, and he pranked them by pretending to hear a noise up in the attic. Then somehow he was able to cut away, and it was just a shot from the ending of Quarantine. I think it was Quarantine or Wreck, one of the two. And they're just watching it, not knowing what it is, and they got scared as can be. That, like, 2-minute prank on Twitter is better than Host. But Host isn't bad. I mean, it got the man a 3-film deal, so shout out to him. Congratulations to him. Someone had said, yeah, someone guessed it, The Others with Kidman. If you ever want any anime recommendations, just DM. A Silent Voice is pretty good. Dope. What is your favorite Ram Ranch? Ram Ranch. I'm not sure what Ram Ranch is. I'm going to say Hidden Valley. Let's see. Someone said, do you mean The Painted Bird? No, it's definitely not that one. Painted Bird. Let's see. For those of you who don't know. Painted Bird and even Gondola, which I'll be watching tonight because I got a screener for that, are these 2 black and white. I don't think this one is a doc per se, but yeah, this is pushing that runtime over here. This one played at TIFF, and I heard mixed reviews of people thinking it was so pretentious and other people going, nah, y'all just don't get it. And the same thing for Gondola, which I heard was a black and white movie about a farm. I'd say Gondola. What am I saying? It's the, someone help me with this. It's not Gondola. What is it? There's another movie that premiered over at, I'm blanking on it. I know it premiered overseas. It may have been slated for Cannes, and it's a black and white movie all at a farm. That's all I know. Let me see. I know Zach might have this one over there. Someone had said, any movies like Sorry to Bother You. Ooh, Sorry to Bother You is, I don't know, that's a crazy one to even try to find something to compare to, because it's wild. I would say, I'm not sure. I might have to think about that one. Let's see. Where is Zach? Zach, where did you go? Gunda. I was adding the la. Gunda. This movie over here. I've been hearing the exact same thing. It's this black and white movie. I think the poster's fire. I got a screener for it. Hopefully it does it justice, because I know it's like the way that this movie was shot was a really big deal. It's literally just pigs and cows and chickens living on a farm. But again, I haven't also caught The Painted Bird, but those are two movies that I need to catch. Slow burns, but I've been hearing good things about them. Let's see what else. Someone had said, any movies like Babel? Well, Babel is the better version of Crash. So let's see. Any other stuff? Amores Perros. There you go. Definitely catch that. Someone had said, any movies like Y Tu Mamá También? I'm not exactly sure. Movies like Y Tu Mamá También. I can't think of any like Spanish road trip movies off the top of my head. But I'd got you on the other one. Let's see. Someone said Best Kaufman. Best Kaufman, in my opinion, I guess it's most acceptable or accessible Kaufman. Synecdoche, I think, is his best directed, but Adaptation, I think, is like his best. He didn't direct it, but I think that's his best. Some would argue Eternal Sunshine, because I know that's what Zach would, but I think it may be Adaptation. I think. Oh, we found it. The short film I'm trying to find, I'll End Up in Jail. That was a good one. That one's a good one. Again, that's the problem with shorts. It's like it's so difficult to know when they're going to be coming out. Like, what would they even come out in, you know? We need a platform just for short films. I'll End Up in Jail. Is this a bad boy? Yeah, this is it. And look at this. They don't even have anywhere to watch it. That stinks. What is a movie or show coming up that you were excited for? Let's see. I know so much stuff has been moved, but I am excited for Mank. Mank is pretty good. They say it might be David Fincher's first win and even Netflix's first win if they keep the Oscars. I'll be making a video on the Oscars as well, because they should be keeping the Oscars this year. It's supposed to be representative of the year, not of the biggest campaigns that have decided to push themselves. So I'd say Mank in terms of movies. That'll be out on Netflix. And shows. I'll mention this right now because I'm halfway through watching the show. I guess it doesn't appear here. But there's a show coming out on Netflix that I got an early review for. It's already riddled with controversy. But it's Netflix trying to have their euphoria. It's based off of a play called Slut, so it's definitely trying to cover some of the roughest things out there. It's better than 13 Reasons Why, I'll give it that. You pretty much are following all of these kids right there. I think Grand Army is the school. I know it's the spot that they're in. And it like interweaves their different storylines. The play originally is about an assault that happens from three friends that are very close to the girl and how she has to recoup with that. And I'm barely there because that doesn't happen until episode 3. So yeah, it is a show, warning, that has a lot of those stuff out there. But so far, I don't think it's a bad show. Sometimes it's a little bit contrived. It's nowhere near Euphoria for sure, but I'm halfway through it. I'm going to try to do a review for it when it comes out, but it's already getting riddled with controversy, so I'm very curious to see how people are going to receive it, because yeah. But yeah, that's a show that I was hyped for by the trailer, and it hasn't disappointed so far, but yo, there's a lot of stuff coming out on it. Someone had said, favorite film from Mitio Guillermo, and I always laugh, because no, he is not Mitio, but someone was like, I knew you were in the film industry. What does Guillermo come out with that I would consider my top? I know everyone says Pans, and it probably is. Oh, come on, where's my Guillermo? Come on, Guillermo. Looking at these, I think the only one that I haven't seen is Chronos, believe it or not. And again, I'm bad at logging. I have not logged any of these, but I think this is the only one that I haven't logged. So yeah, it's Pans. It's Pan's, easily. I had to rewatch Crimson Peak because I was doing research for something and I didn't know Crimson Peak. Crimson Peak was like banned from I don't know how many countries. But yeah, and then I'm due a rewatch for The Shape of Water as well. But yeah, Pan's Labyrinth probably. I know that's a cliche answer. I wish I had a better answer to give, but I do need to watch Chronos. I don't know, maybe Chronos ends up being better. Netflix Euphoria. Yeah, definitely it's not going to be that, but you know. Someone said thoughts on Isle of Dogs. I personally liked it. I thought it was good. I had a conversation with a couple of people though, and I will say retroactively looking back at it, yo, my man, he just put gibberish for a lot of the people's voices. And yeah, retroactively that's bad. And I know Wes Anderson is going through the ringer right now. I think he's already working on another movie, but yeah, he has been the backlash. All of the hipster kids who loved your boy right here are having their reckoning right now, trying to see, do I want to be an auteur or do I want to be extra woke? And now they're canceling the boy. They even tried to cancel Kaufman as well. And the people tried to cancel Kaufman. Turned out that they had their own issues as well from their casting. But I mean, I don't want Wes Anderson to talk about an experience that isn't his for sure. But Isle of Dogs was a cute story for what it was. But I definitely think he could have had more consultants. In retrospect, definitely could have had way more consultants. Let's see what else. His French Dispatch I know got moved, but he's in the midst of already working on another movie. Like, boy gets money. Someone had asked, Crimson Peak is underrated. All right, gonna have to definitely check that one out. Are you watching any Indian movies? I had mentioned See You Soon that I'd caught last week, but if you got any, put me on. Gondola was another one that I have a link for. Have not been able to finish that one, but I know that one played at TIFF, and it was that one killed at the TIFF midnight as well. Favorite Mexican short film? There was a recent one. There's one that I caught at Fantasia. I can't think it off the top, but I will be mentioning in the video. Oh, man. There's one that came out last year, and it was eligible for an Oscar, but didn't get anything, and I'm blanking on what the name of it is. But pretty much it is about these construction workers and what happens when a construction worker gets hurt when they're undocumented. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's all I'll say. Someone said, Devesh found the film he was looking for. I found the film I was looking for. The Cranes Are Flying. Came out in 1957. Damn good watch. I also watched 12 Angry Men for the first time this week. Hey, 12 Angry Men's always... That's my cliche one that I always tell people. Definitely catch that one. Let me see. The Cranes Are Flying. Add that one to my list. Any Criterion Collection horror recommendations for Halloween? Someone told me that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was on the Criterion Collection, and I am such a huge fan of that, and people will sometimes dismiss it, and I'll be like, well, now it's the Criterion, so what'd you go say about it? So, that for sure. The Cranes Are Flying. Damn. The compelling story of a girl's impassioned search for happiness. All right. Add that one to my watch list. Ooh, it even got a 4-star from Chase. Ooh, pickiest boy over here. Never heard of it before today, and you probably haven't either. True. But make sure to watch this immediately if you haven't. My emotions feel like they got crushed by a stack of bricks. All right, good pick. Shout out to that. Appreciate it. See, that's why I do these. I'm not just putting y'all onto movies. You guys are putting me onto movies. Are you looking forward to The Quiet Place 2? I am. I didn't love A Quiet Place as much as everybody else, but I'm hoping that they fix the things in the second one. For example, it should be more quiet. I really need a good action comedy movie or comedy TV series. Recommendations ASAP as possible. There is one right now by the guy who made The Raid. If you haven't seen The Raid, definitely watch The Raid. If you haven't seen, he's got one, but it's on AMC Plus. I'm blanking on what it's called. Warriors, maybe? I don't know what it is. Someone will mention it in the thing right now. Oh, someone said, what about Lovecraft Country? Shout out to you, Wonton Soup. I had mentioned this last week. I'm not done with it yet, but I will be reading the book and then working on something for it. My only big thing with Lovecraft is when they try to get like current songs or something and try to display them, try to like juxtapose them with what's going on in the show. But so far, I like the show. I think they fix a couple of things that I know were criticisms in the book, but it seems pretty good. Are you anticipating Soul? I am anticipating Soul. I know Soul is now going out straight to Disney Plus, which I know some people were critical because it's like, so y'all will move all the other movies, but the first time you have this jazz-centered movie, the first time Pixar's going to cover something like this, and it's going They're not even charging you for it. They charged everyone for Mulan, and this is going to be available for free. Which again, I can't complain about that, because it will be accessible. But it would have been cool to see it in theaters. Someone had said, have you caught the new Blumhouse ones? Covered it over at the top, but I will be making a whole feature film about that one, or feature film, a whole LME on that. What is your favorite self-directed film? Not sure what that means. Self-directed film. Let me see. I'll follow up on that one. Have you seen City of God? It's one of my favorites. It's an absolute classic. Another one that I always talk about that week is sophomore year, when I really got into the filmmaking aspect of it, not just liking movies, but loving the filmmaking, loving the filmmaking aspect of it. Definitely recommend City of God. Are you going to do an LME on Project Power? It was better than what I thought. I may do one on Project Power. Maybe actually when Synchronic comes out, which I mentioned earlier on. Are you looking forward to the new Candyman? Definitely, and I'll be doing a whole franchise review for that as well. Spielberg Top 5. Let's see, I can't think of a top 5 off the top, but I'll give you for sure. My favorite is Minority Report. A lot of people, they'll give you a bunch of recommendations, but to be honest with you, that's one of the ones that I will always fight for on the Spielberg binge list. Ooh, Prime to come back. Highway is a great Indian movie. You should try it. Definitely, let me add it on my list. Someone said, can you recommend any Westerns? Black and white. I mean, I'm OG when it comes to the No Name trilogy, from Good, the Bad, the Ugly, for a few dollars more, Fistful. Those are the best in my opinion. Let's see, is this the one you're talking about? This may be it. I hope this is it, because I know there's a couple more. Put this one on my radar as well. Right before her wedding, a young woman finds herself abducted and held for ransom. Sheesh. All right. Oh, it's out on Netflix too. Look at that. Someone else had asked, have you seen Four Lions? I did. And I believe if we're talking about the same one, because I always confuse Four Lions with another one. Yes. Recently, the man had made, and I haven't even logged it in yet, the man had made this one, They Shall Come. If you haven't, you're mentioning this one, and I do think Four Lions is better than They Shall Come, but They Shall Come, this one played at South by. This man's making like the craziest type of stories possible. This is about like this guy walking around in a mariachi outfit practically, and the FBI confuses him as a terrorist organization. So safe to say, Chris Morris, he's making off-kilter stuff for sure. Let me see, Lancer, probably spend 10 more minutes over here. Get some stuff. Someone had asked, hey, it's Naysay. Believe just said, hey, it's Naysay. Hey, what's up? Shout out to you. Are you ready for Train to Busan 2? I am. I have actually already caught it. It is nowhere near. Let me see. Log this one. What do you call it? Train to Busan. They had this one playing at the drive-in along with another one, which I should log right now, New Mutants, which is playing at the drive-in. Train to Busan, great. Fantastic. Train to Busan 2, not so good. Oh, yes, it's called Peninsula, my bad. It's an action movie. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's terrible, but it's nowhere near what the first one had, for sure. This is like a video game movie, which isn't a bad thing, but if you're expecting kind of like the emotions and everything the first one had, these zombies run faster. It's Tokyo drifting on these zombies, Korean drifting on these zombies, a specific sequence that happens. It practically looks like a car commercial, so it's not great, but it's all right. Another one from, hey, I want to make sure I'm saying, Naysay, hey, shout out to you. Any African films you on, man? I have this one queued up. Lost Okiroshi, I believe it is what it... Oh, no. It's not going to come up. There we go. This one was from TIFF. I got this one queued up. It looks wild, but at the same time, the boys who made from the... What was it? Walk Hollywood? The... Private Alex movie. I know that they also have an entire doc on how they make their movies as well. What else is out that I've been watching? Atlantiques would be a fantastic one if you haven't caught that one. Also another one that's on Netflix. We ever do a video on New Mutants? Yep. That's another one I was going to log in since we were on the topic of drive-in movies. My joke for this one was, went to see it at the drive-in, wanted to drive out. Disappointed, man. We're waiting for this one this entire time. I'm going to have a whole video on it. It should be coming out this week. But yeah, my ending line, I'm going to give it to y'all right now. Been waiting for this movie this whole time. Now that it's out, I still feel like I'm waiting for it. Disappointing. I remember back in the A to Z show, if you guys follow me way back when, I actually had a New Mutant poster, and it was like, it had gotten delayed twice, so I grabbed the New Mutant posters, I just ripped them, because I was like, what's the point? What is the point? Someone said, thoughts on Mandy? I enjoy Mandy. Surprisingly, I like Color Out of Space a little bit more, but I know people absolutely adore Mandy. I made a video on it as well, just going through the zaniness. Thoughts on thoughts on Sallow? If you haven't seen Sallow, don't. Don't with your boys, at least. It's a nasty movie. I'm going to just put it there. But it's a classic. I'm not going to lie. Are you looking forward to The Empty Man? I don't know what The Empty Man is. On the trail of a missing girl, an ex-cop comes across a secretive group attempting to summon a terrifying natural entity. What's this man done? He had something to do with the Fly. He did the making of the Fly. I was about to say, I know he didn't make the Fly. Yo, I actually did have this one over here. How did they ever make a Facebook movie? Interesting. Inside Llewyn Davis. Dang. All right. So he makes he's making YouTube videos. He's making feature length breakdowns on these things. All right. I'll add this to my list. You gonna do a Blind House comparison? Yep. Great North African films I saw recently were Nora's Dream, Unfils, and Adam. Let's see, I've not heard of Unfils. I do have, let's see, is it this one right here? Unfils, maybe this one right here? Salam, a Young Man. That's the problem. I wish it like put the countries as well. And sometimes it doesn't. This is a French film. Maybe this one. Arabic, I guess. I do have a story of. I'll tell it for another time. Let's see. Someone else had said, "Who's seen Shine Your Eyes on Netflix?" Shine Your Eyes. Because he has not heard anything for a while from his older brother Ikenan, musician Amadi travels from Nigeria to the metropolis of Sao Paulo, but Ikenan remains missing. Interesting. All right. Little Netflix watch as well. You heard about Neon's new documentary coming this week, Totally Under Control? I have. Hopefully it's good. Because again, the Neon's coming out with some crazy documentaries, so. Thoughts on Midnight Gospel? Been asked this one. Really enjoyed it. I want to make a video on it, but I've only seen a couple of episodes so far. Did you see Midway? And if so, thoughts? I've seen midway through because I had to leave for something when I was in the theater, but Alina finished it. She enjoyed it. I think it's over on HBO Max now. But I thought it was all right. Let's see. Thoughts on This Is England? I've never seen the This Is England bit. These have been highly recommended. I'm just confused because, again, I haven't done my research on them yet because I know there's a TV series as well, and then there's like the original one, and then there's this England 86, 88, 90. But yeah, hit me up. Let me know the thoughts. Tweet it at me. Tweet me where I need to start. If I should start from the beginning or if there's another way to go about it. But I've heard great things about these. Have you seen Possessor with Andrea Riseborough? I have. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I'm excited to watch Possessor uncut. I even made a video on this, I believe. I did a Sundance one on this one. I think it's crazy. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I'm going to put the heart on there, too. Thoughts on Baghdad 3? Well, I haven't seen the other ones yet, but I know of the film. Baghdad 3. What's this about? A man embarks on a bloody rampage to save his kidnapped brother. I'll add it. Maybe I'll do a franchise recap to some of these. Explore some other countries if that's what y'all want me to see. If that's what y'all want to see on some LMEs. Thoughts on the Raw? I think it's like 3 or 4 years old. Oh, I love Raw. I actually have an ATZ video. If you search up Raw ATZ, have a whole one on that one. Favorite Gaspar Noé? I am due a rewatch for Climax, as Climax fans always bombard me on Gaspar Noé, but let me see. I'm just remembering how love starts. It's so. I do have this back half to finish of his to catch up on, but Irreversible. It's hard to recommend Irreversible though, but Irreversible. But if there's any of these other ones from his ones that his older ones that you think are underrated, definitely tweet it at me. Do you prefer Uncut Gems or Good Time? Uncut Gems, for sure. Have you seen Maniac on Netflix with Emma Stone? Underrated. I agree. And you know the thing about it is that I was like, all right, the show's pretty cool, but I didn't get to really sit on it because I was on vacation when it was released and I caught it. But I end up quoting it all the time. The specific thing where they have that moment where she wants to go somewhere, and in order to pay for it, she's got to sit with a woman who reads her ads, which for the woman, that's her job. But for her, that's her way of paying through it, sitting through ads. And like, I mean, you guys know this, like for you guys who watch my videos, I don't mind if y'all have ad blocker, but like that's the payment that you're paying for. It's those ads, you know. We were mentioning Peacock, how Peacock has a paid version, but they also have an unpaid version because they know, just like Hulu is starting a free version, Amazon Prime technically had a free version, they know they can make just as much with ads as well. Even more, you know, because it's like you pay a flat fee, but depending on how many ads you're watching, you could be making more. So I do want to revisit Maniac at one point because, if I'm not mistaken, it's True Detective Season 1, dude, right? Almost positive. Does it say director? It does not have director on here. I believe it was Fukunaga, if I'm not mistaken. But it does not have a director on here. Oh, but he's on there, so yeah. And again, he's working on the new 007. But no, Maniac's a classic. Are you looking forward to Swan Song? It's going to be an Apple original. I love Mahershala Ali. I've not heard about this one yet, but I might get it because Apple sent me a thing and he's like, here, join this press thing. And I was like, okay, cool. So On the Rocks is on there. I think I'd seen some people asking about On the Rocks, but that is also one that I have a screener for. Might be watching it tonight. Is that what it's called? Did I spell it right? Swan Song? I mean, if it's Mahershala, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'll definitely have this one on my list. Might get even an early one on there. Thought on Over the Moon trailer. I usually don't watch that many trailers. Over the Moon trailer until afterwards when I'm cutting up everything. Where are these movies? Oh, is it because I put trailer? Over the Moon. Here we go. A girl builds a rocket, travel to the moon in hopes of meeting a legendary moon goddess. I've not heard too much about this one. Actually, no, I did. This one and the Wolves one. I think there's another one called Wolves something that a lot of people are hyping up. Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know where it's going to come out, but I have it on my radar for sure. Try Slasher on Netflix. I'll put that one on my list for sure. Appreciate it. Someone had said Umbrella Academy Season 2. Got a whole video for you over there. Definitely check that one out. Any plans for shooting anything of your own? In the meantime, right now, probably not. Not until things get better, but it's crazy. You know, I'm in the Chicago area, and they're actually filming the Batman. Batman's going to be coming out over here, so that's going to be interesting to see. Someone had said, favorite Kubrick. I think it's cliche. The most fun Kubrick is Full Metal Jacket, in my opinion, but it is cliche to say that The Shining is his best. But I have to revisit Barry Lyndon because I caught that one like at the beginning of college, and it's like I got to revisit that one now. Thoughts on Miracle in Cell Number 7? I enjoy it. Got a whole video up on the channel as well. Have you seen American Gods? I think I saw a couple of episodes. It's the one on Netflix. I was able to catch a couple, but that's it. Thoughts on F is for Family? Again, only a couple episodes, but Zach gives it a big thumbs up. My Intercut podcast host. Have you seen Ava? I have not seen Ava yet. I know this is the one that's out over there on... It's probably on Vudu right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I know it's over on Vudu. They have like a in-theater at home thing for it right now. And it stars Jessica Chastain. Let's see. I'm not the biggest Tate Taylor fan, but I will catch it soon. Someone said you should watch Hater. Let me check this one up, see what it is. Wait, are we talking Hater as in Hater the Other? I think I actually have seen this one. As I searched someone up, shout out Ariosity for the super chat. Someone had said, how do you write your videos and scripts? How long does it take? And do you write while watching the films? You're the reason I started making videos, man. Big fan. Shout out to you, man. Or girl. Hold on. What was the one that I was just recommended? Hater. Let me answer Hater first, because I'm almost positive. Okay, no, I have not seen this one. I've seen Hater. I have not seen this one. but I'll add it to my watch list. A young man returns to Kashmir after his father's disappearance to confront his uncle, the man he suspects to have a role in his father's fate. Yikes. Okay. Oh, it's on Netflix too. All right, let's go. All right, Ariosity. Thank you for the kind comments. So pretty much, yeah, I jot down a lot of notes when I go to the theater, or usually when I'm writing. It's usually stuff that stands out to me. And then on the second rewatch, I'll like pay attention to certain things there. And then what I do is I sit through a lot of the interviews, because for me, I've always been more interested in how the filmmaker makes it, because it's like, I feel like a lot of people, when they start like reviewing stuff, then they start making stuff. When they make stuff, when they're reviewing stuff, it's easier to be, it's very easy to be harsh. But then you make something and someone doesn't get it and they just dismiss it and they go, but you didn't get it. You didn't take the time. And then it makes the way that they review things differently. And for me, from the jump, that's always been a thing where it's like, I may not like it. It may not work for me, but they made it for a reason. And that's why usually I'm very lenient on movies. The movies that I hate the most are when you can tell it's just a straight up product. Like, that's when I get furious. Mulan. Well, a lot of the big budget stuff. But usually if someone's like investing their time into making this, like, yeah, it may not be a perfect movie, but I'm always curious as to like, what was the purpose of doing it, you know? So that's usually how I go about it. And a lot of my stuff is just how it just flows from point A to point B. I've always liked the idea of the videos feeling like a conversation that you're having with somebody after the movie theater. Someone had said, have you seen Moon with Sam Rockwell? I have, and it is fantastic, and I don't know what happened with Mute, which was the sequel. And I know that one's over on Netflix too, but if you have not caught Moon, catch Moon. Moon is fantastic. All right, let me wrap it up here on the half hour. Let me see what else we got over here. Someone had asked, making OnlyFans. I made a joke. What did I say? I said if I reach something on Patreon, I was going to make the Patreon the let me expose. One day, sir, but you're going to have to wait. Someone had said, have you seen The Lighthouse? I talked about it a little bit earlier and how I was like feet away from watching it with Patterson there at TIFF. Someone said, watch El Violin on YouTube, straight up a hidden gem. Let me see. Does it pop out over here on Letterboxd? We got a Letterboxd on this one right here. Is this the one? I think you said it was a short film, right? Well, this ain't a short film, but hopefully this one's it. Maybe. I'm going to add it on the list. Got some boys who said it was pretty good on it. Hey, I doubt you'll see this, but I finished The Haunting of Bly Manor recently and thought the scares were a lot weaker, but overall enjoyed it. Yes. Same, but I'll be making a whole thing on it for sure. But I agree with you. Season 1 was way better. Have you seen Lady Bird? Yes, sir. I have a ATZ video on that one. Search up Lady Bird ATZ. Got my thoughts on there, but I did enjoy it. I recommend the very famous Netflix movie Power. Gonna have to make a video on that because I see y'all requesting it. I've never seen The Expanse on Amazon. I don't even know what The Expanse is about, to be honest with you. Is it ending? I feel like it's ending. Amazon original, The Expanse, a police detective in the asteroid. Boy, it's got pretty good reviews, but police detective in the asteroid belt, the first officer of an interplanetary ice raider, and an earthbound United Nations executive slowly discover a vast conspiracy that threatens the Earth's rebellious colony on the asteroid belt. Damn, all right. Seasons 1 through 4. New season December 16th. Oh, okay. I see you. All right. You know what? I may actually binge it. If y'all want to see an LME in minutes, I might do a recap of the first couple of seasons. Let me see. Have you seen You Were Never Really Here? Yep. I had a theory video on that, and people hated the theory video. I was like, damn, all right. I won't make more theory videos on that. But yeah, it's fantastic. And there's, I think they're called Screened. Screened made over on YouTube, the YouTube channel, they made a fantastic breakdown on how it covers PTSD. Highly recommend it. Godard Truffaut? Godard, personally. Let me see. Watch Cape Fear on Netflix. There's a bunch of Cape Fears. The OG is fantastic, for sure. It's so weird not hearing you in your YouTube videos voice. Yeah. That's the fun part about the live streams, is that I don't have to, like, overly edit it. Just have a conversation with y'all right here. Do you watch Outlander, any Stars original? I have not been put onto Stars yet. So if you have a list of Stars and you want to convince me to get Stars, because I just mentioned the last time I got Showtime recently, but I have not gotten Stars, so I'll let y'all have the Let You Explain on Stars and why I should get it. Let Me Explain on Raised by Wolves incoming on HBO Max? Maybe. I caught the first 2 episodes. I was talking about it last week, how I felt that at first they looked a little corny, like they were in the Power Ranger outfits, but it seemed to be pretty good. I know it just kind of went off the radar for a lot of people, but we'll see. Have you seen The Double by Ayoade? I have. And I think he makes some of the most interesting movies out. I can't remember what's the most recent one that he made. I thought The Double was okay. To beef, it was unfair to it. But it came out the same time Enemy came out, and I love Enemy. I absolutely adore Enemy. But I will revisit this one. Rich Ayoade, he does some fantastic stuff. And written some stuff and acted in a bunch of stuff and carried series as well. Have you seen The Dead Man's Shoes? Same director as This Is England. I have not, but sounds like I'm going to have a whole binge on this man's filmography for sure. Dead Man's Shoes. A soldier returns home to his small town and exacts a deadly revenge on the thugs who tormented his dim-witted brother while he was away. Damn. All right. I know this guy. I've seen this actor in a couple of stuff. I might have to check that one out. Let's see. Have you seen In Fabric? I have. Not as big of a fan as the director's previous. I highly recommend Duchess of... Blinking on the name, but Duchess of Burgundy. I really love that film, but I'm due a rewatch for In Fabric because I didn't love it when I caught it at TIFF, but it was also like midnight. But yeah. Did you get the chance to catch Tenet? I have not yet. The only stuff I've been to, if it's not at a drive-in or at home or stuff like that, but I do want to catch it. Hopefully I get to catch it in IMAX at some point. Thoughts on Top Boy? I have not caught Top Boy, but let me see if I have it on make sure I have it on my watch list. Is it a show? If it's a show, then it's not on here. Let's see, what's this on? Might be a British show, I think. This one. Pretty good reviews. 2 London drug dealers play the lucrative trade at a public housing estate in East London. Alright. Gotta have this one on my radar for sure then. Alright. Alright, we pushing the hour right here. Let me see. 2 more and then we're gone. What's your favorite Will Ferrell film? Going right at it. Alright, let's see. Favorite Will Ferrell film. And then I'm gonna answer one more after that. Let's see what we got over here. Oof. Ooh. All right. Alf. Oh, but Step Brothers. Okay, I'm not going off of like actual quality, the best of the best. There's no movie that I quote more than Step Brothers with my brother. Like, this is our movie. This is what we quote everywhere we go. If there's enough space, it's Step Brothers for me personally. But I haven't even rated Step Brothers. Like, I am so behind. This is why I'm doing this live stream series. Yeah, it's worth it. I love Step Brothers. Absolutely love Step Brothers. And it's crazy to think that Adam McKay was making these movies. Went on to make Vice, Big Short, and his run in Succession. Insane to me. Producing Succession, I should say. Let me see. All right, the final one. What show can you watch over and over and over again? I'll give you 3. I'll start off with a lighthearted one. One of my favorite animations. Some of y'all may already know it because I always talk about it. The Amazing World of Gumball. It's over on Hulu. Catch it. It is fantastic. Like, honestly, it is fantastic. This is 5 stars, guys. 5 stars for me. I said I was going to say 3. I guess Breaking Bad's too cliche. Let me give you another one before I give you my top one, which is so obvious. Another show that I would watch. Oh, keeping it with the comedy. Love Broad City. Think Broad City is absolutely fantastic as well. It's hilarious. Can't wait to rewatch this one. Maybe even make a video on that one. But this and Gumball were always my ones that, we just wind down at the end of the day and catch. But I always got to talk about the best of the best. Lost. Always Lost. But again, thank you guys for joining the LME streams, the Letterboxd Mondays that we do here. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat. Appreciate you guys for watching. Gonna do this again next Monday. Hey, I'm on a roll here. 2 weeks in a row. Hoping to keep it. But yeah, as I said, my recommendations for this week, as you can see in the thumbnail, 40-year-old version. Let me know your thoughts. Tweet me if you like it. If you hate it, let me know. Haunting of Bly Manor. I know you guys already have seen it. Gonna be working on a video on that and a video on Charm City Kings as well. Watch the documentary. Watch Charm City on HBO Max, but the documentary. I think they said it was on Criterion, right? 12 O'Clock Boys, Criterion, and it was on something else. Can it be? It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi. You can watch it for free. If you don't even need the library. You can watch it on Tubi for free with ads. So, yeah, I'm curious to know your thoughts on any of those movies that I recommended. Let me know any other movies to have on my list. Appreciate all the watch list stuff that you guys have given me on this one. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Take care.